Hey guys, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of what we've been going through. It's amazing. Probably in the last, I don't know, week, I've made 100 calls. Probably in the last 2 weeks, I've made over 200 calls. In the beginning, it was just getting people lined up, getting them into the system. And then we said, we're going to start with them as soon as we pick a few guys at the top. So between getting a sales mentor and a sales manager, and the mentor turned into the manager, and then we wound up with another mentor. I'll explain that pretty shortly. But here's what happened. We picked the strongest, most ambitious, hardest hitting guys, the ones who were the most trainable and the most ready and willing to work. And we said, all right, we're going to start with these guys and we're just going to focus on backing them. And so I let this guy and his partner take off, right? So I said, all right, HVAC leads, right? Right. Here's the site. Here's how it works. Yep, we understand. All right, great. Let's start with leads. What do you want? East Coast leads. Okay, let's start with the East Coast because they're in New York. And here we go. So they started calling, and a whole day went by. And then they got a hold of me and said, okay, end of the day, let's talk about it. It was like, all right, how'd it go? They go, between the two of us, I made about 110 calls. The other guy made 130. He goes, so 240 calls together for the day. It's like, oh, wow, that's quite a bit. And so what happened? They go, nothing. No one bit. It was like, ooh, that's pain. Why? And they said, well, they could barely ever get past the gatekeeper. It's like, how do you get through? They weren't sure. And then beyond that, they couldn't find any pain points. The guys just didn't seem to care anything about their websites. But mostly they just would hang up right away. It was like, ooh, that's tough. So as we were talking about it and getting into more detail, I thought, do you know what? You are working a really tough area, New York City and the surrounding area, because that's where I gave them the leads. So let's try something else. Let's try new geography, first of all. Let's just aim for something a little, center of the U.S., down south more. So we did. And they went at it again, like New Mexico. The next day of calling, maybe 240 calls again. No, the one guy let the other guy go for that second day. He said, I'm just going to let him take a break and I'm going to go ahead and hit this thing. So he put in like 120 calls or so. That's what I was finding out at the time was normal for then. Now it's very different. And so I'm getting there. So he called. He said this time, everyone's a lot more polite. It was so much easier to discuss things with those guys. So geography does matter, a big deal. He said, however, the flip side is this. No one has any pain points. And mainly, everyone's got so many leads. Everyone has so much work. They don't need to even consider their website. It's like, I'll be dang. But then we stopped and thought about it some more. And I wound up pulling up a heat map of the U.S. It's like, there is nothing here that's not burning to the ground. Look at a heat map this year of the U.S. It's like the whole thing's on fire, basically. All of the U.S. is hot, just hotter than usual. And all that means is the air conditioning systems are busting left and right. So even the companies who are getting a lot more leads than they can handle are just selling the leads off to the companies who weren't getting leads. Everyone is so busy, they can't see straight. It's like, okay, so you know what? Maybe HVAC just isn't going to be the right industry. And so then we thought, well, what do? We got to get things going, got to get pay coming in. So what do? I said, all right. I said, let me try something else. So I started calling around and asking a few guys what they thought. And I spent time with a roofing mentor, a guy I know well, who just sells roofing SEO. That's all he does. Nothing else. He's really, really good at it too. And I said, what kind of advice could you give me? And he said, first of all, roofing's awesome. Second of all, this, that, and the other. And as I listened, I thought, do you know what? And so I told him, what if I pay you to give some training to my main guy and start mentoring my main guy to get him going in the right direction? Because then if we're taking on websites, we can pass SEO work to you very easily. And that way, and that's cool because I don't have an in-house SEO department. I would love to run roofing SEO through you since that's your forte. And the guy was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. I can see that. It was like, all right. So, and this guy cold calls left and right. He spends his whole days cold calling. So he was the right guy. So anyway, I put them in touch and they had a meeting. And when they walked away, my main guy doing the calls said, do you know what? That was awesome. I totally understand what I'm doing now. I was doing everything wrong before. Wrong pitch, wrong approach. It was basically calling and say, hi, I'm so-and-so from this website company. We'd like to talk to your guy about your website. That wasn't working. But my roofing mentor has a golden script for getting through, getting past the gatekeeper and getting the decision maker to listen. And so this was cool. There's some psychology to it, but there's an exact script. You read it, literally verbatim, basically. You might make little adjustments here and there, depending on who you're talking to, but basically the script's the same every time. And he goes, that's your golden script. I was like, okay, what can we expect? He goes, if you call 250 to 300 guys a day for about 2 weeks, you're going to start to get a consistent 2 sales per week. I was like, wow, okay. Well, with that in mind, we said, what about pricing them? Because 2 sales per week after 2 weeks of calling, we can handle the 2 weeks to get going if that's what it really takes. By the way, the story doesn't end there. So we just decided, okay, if we have to, we have to, but what's our goal? And he said, your goal is to identify the decision maker and get contact with him, get his phone number or his email address, because you can move forward with a contact. You can tag that guy with the right message. And that came back to this point. Every time we do mass delivery of a message or mass robotexting, the problem we always have is what? Our message is going to a gatekeeper. It's going to an assistant. It's going to a receptionist. It's going to a secretary. It's not really going to the right phone number for the guy in charge. And or our message isn't making it to the right email address for the guy in charge. It's always landing on somebody who could care less if you talk about improving their website. Their job is to recognize it and throw it away. Question is, can you get through to the decision maker in such a way that when you tag him with something of value, he can say or she can say, you know what, let me keep reading, or let me just call that guy back real quick and see where this might go. And you're not expecting that often. You're mostly expecting most of the guys to not necessarily be interested. But identifying the decision maker is a really big deal. So you know what that turned into. We trained the guy on the script. He took the weekend, hit the gym, practiced the script over and over, muttered it while he was biking. He just kept practicing it, rehearsing it, recording it, listening to it for himself. And here's what the goal was. The small steps on the way to the sale. The small steps, right? If you're just thinking, can I close the sale, and you don't close the sale all day long, then you emotionally feel like you had a bad day. But if you can close the steps that lead to the sale, then you can see yourself progress. And the first goal is, can I get an email all day long? If I call all day long, 250 to 300 guys, can I at least get an email? Because if I can get an email a day for a week, I got 5 emails of the right decision makers. I can tag them more than once with different points, get them at different times, try to work with them, try to get them on the phone or get them through to the next page. But can I do that? If I can get through to 5 of the decision makers and work on them, I can pop 2 sales a week. By the way, that brings me back to pricing. I'll get back to that in a minute too. The conversation's kind of going like this, so I'm trying to cover all the different branches. All right, so anyway, my guy's like, I really want to hit this faster. So he started his first day with the golden script, and he took off. And in 3 hours, he had 17 emails. 17 in 3 hours of calling. And he said this, he said, some of it, I sort of really twisted them a bit to get the emails. So, they might be more or less interested, but they're pretty nonchalant. He goes, but there were like 6 guys or 7 who were really interested. And he said, here's the interesting thing. He called for about 3 hours. He called something like 140 guys. He said right around half picked up. The other half went to voicemail. He just ignored every voicemail, totally ignored them. Figured I'll have a different script for voicemail later. He goes, well, right now, I'm just trying to get the decision maker. If I'm getting the voicemail, I'm not getting the decision maker. So he turned around, and of those 70 or so guys that he was able to get through to, he got 17 emails out of them, of which basically 6 to 8 are serious enough. And what's that mean? That means like 10%. That means call 10 guys, and you'll get a decision maker email. If you do it right. And we said, that's awesome. That is really incredible progress, because that kind of thing is huge. If you can get 17 emails in one day and you're working on them, you can pop a sale here, a sale there, and then another sale a couple days later, another sale a couple days later, another sale a couple days later. Holy criminy. And so then the next day you're adding to the list. Next day you're adding to the list. And by the way, he's only doing that in 3 hours. So what's that mean? So 3 hours, he gets a bunch of emails, however many. And then the next 3 hours, well, not even 3, what am I talking about? He's trying to craft messages for each of those important guys, those 17 guys from the text that we have. He's crafting, enough uniqueness to each of those messages to contact each of those guys to make a point, right? To get them to read and either continue to the website to buy something or call them back with questions. So that is the middle part that we're playing with. The end part, and so you know what's neat about that? If you can get like 10 to 20, because he got 17 in 3 hours. So if you spend like 3 hours, you should be able to get like 10 to 20 decision makers. My roofing mentor was selling SEO. That's harder than selling websites. You can see a website. You can see a website demo. You can understand immediately how the demo pertains to you. But when you sell roofing SEO, well, you're selling SEO. That's like really vague and amorphous. You can't get your hands around it, so it has to be described. That's harder. So if our roofing SEO, the guy's living off roofing, he's got like 40 to 60,000 a month coming in from roofing guys who are paying him $1,500 a month, $2,500 a month, then this is cakewalk by comparison. That's how our guy got 17 leads in 3 hours. It's just so much faster to go after this kind of approach. So here's the cool thing. We can make 2 sales a day per guy. We can do that pretty easily. We can even back them up. We can have them doing the calls up front, have somebody else following up with the emails behind them, or just put it on them if they want full commissions or if they want to split it with a worker. Then if they want to do it themselves, they'll call for a few hours and then take a break, go eat lunch or something, regroup, and then contact them, email, text, reach out to them to follow up. Hey, here's the information I promised to send you, whatever it is. Hi, this is the marketing channel we're offering. Hi, this is why your website is bad and why you want a better one, blah, blah, blah. Call me back or continue here to make the purchase, and then we'll lock you in and continue moving forward with you. Get back to you with our SEO guy to offer you the options for marketing. Anyway, it's all in the script. Now, here's the point. Even if you're making 2 sales a day or a week, do we have any control over the price? That became the final piece. Because what if you can only make 2 sales a week? Or what if you just only make 2 sales a week? Do you have any control over the price? Well, we got back to the roofing SEO guy on that. And he said this, for a roofer, it doesn't matter if it's $100 or $1,000. He goes, it's pocket change. Anything less than $1,000 is a test money. Give it a crack, see what happens. He goes, so it's not hard. I mean, you can almost impulse sell anything for under $1,000. He goes, you don't need to sell for $195. And not only that, but when it comes to roofers, they're not even going to look at it for $195 because it looks too cheap. It's like, how serious can it be if it's only $195 one time? It's like, okay. Now, granted, if you've got access to all of Website Installer and you have all the different industries and you have different angles and different ways you want to pitch a point, then wouldn't you like control over your pricing? Wouldn't you like the promo code that's assigned to you to be something where you can control the price? Well, check this out. Let's take a look at one of these things. Say I was going to go to the architect. Let's say I checked out the demo, I liked it, and I want to get the details, Or even if I got the details first, I can see the live demo on a new tab here. Wow, that's pretty expensive, but I know the promo code drops the price dramatically, right? Guess why we moved all the prices up? First of all, they should be that high, honestly. But then down here, promo codes, right? Okay, so look, with no promo code, you've got the base price, right? Let's try 2 different promo codes. Let's put in a really generic one. WMS, right? Website Marketing Solutions, got to be my promo code, I guess, 123. Okay, WMS 123. And if I click off and drag down, hey, we got our $195 discounted. virtually all of it, hey, we're selling it as a test, or we're selling it as a promo, or who knows what we're doing. Bundling it with something. But anyway, there you go. There's a gross amount with the tax. Go ahead and buy, and you can move forward from there. Now, what if it wasn't that? What if it was somebody else's promo code? What if your promo code was this one? I'm just going to use another one where we adjusted the price. Boom. Now, let me click off. Say you wanted to sell a site like a roofing website, and you wanted it priced up, towards the $1,000 range, but seemingly lower. Be like $895, right? And so, that's the coolness of it all, because you can sell these for whatever price you want. This is what we decided, right? And so all these things have their own prices. We got stuff on here that's more expensive, stuff on here that's less expensive, for the obvious reason of giving variation throughout the system. We got Beauty and Beast templates that are more or less expensive. When people buy more, you can bet we do a lot more for them. But if I put that same promo code in for the $14.95, right, just to make sure you know, paste, right, it's going to come down to $8.95 for that promo code. All of you guys who sign up to the sales team, you get a promo code. It's your very own promo code, although you will always introduce it to a guy as the promo code, right? The promo code that allows you the discount. And you'll talk about the discount. And it'll come down to the price you wanted it set for. If you do not give us a particular price, then the price of your promo code will be the default. Whatever it is we set for the default, which happens to be $195. Makes everything nice and cheap, so there are no objections to the price being too high, no matter what you offer. Okay? Now, with that in mind, for those of you who would like to set it higher, guess what your commission is at $8.95? Well, you do the ratio on the math. For your first sale, it comes to this ratio. What would the first sale be? $50 out of $195. Well, 50 out of 195 is a certain percentage. That'll be the same commission you get, the same percentage that you would get at the $8.95 sale or whatever other price you want. Same percentage no matter where you set the price. Okay? Same thing with the second sale. When you get the second sale, you got your $50 plus your $75 plus your base commission. Now base pay is still $100 a day because it's base pay. But the commission is whatever it is, a 75. So do the math on that. So 75 out of 195 is whatever the percentage is. So use that percentage for your $8.95, and you would know what the math is for that. What's the point of having the percentages be the same on the commissions? You can ask us to change your price point here and there from time to time if you think it's an issue and you want to change it. Like if you set it to $8.95, but you're doing a different industry, and somehow those guys are hesitating, and you're thinking, maybe I should set it to $4.95, then you can flip it. You can ask us to change it. We'll change it for you in the system. You just test it by going to any promo code box and testing it, making sure it's showing the price you want, right? And then it'll just stay there until you let us know some other price. But the purpose of having percentages in the system is exactly so that our math will always work. We will always be able to use the percentages, no matter what your prices are, to determine your earnings. And you will always know what your earnings should be for the same exact reason. Okay? Because just go by percentage and you'll always be able to calculate your earnings. All right. So all of this, let me point out with this one. We decided that the sales team should have access to the call training. All those calls I said the guy did, the 140 for the day where you got 17 emails, maybe 6 or 7 of them are serious, they're in a folder. There's 140 of those here. You can literally listen to them. What's the point of listening to them? You get to learn everything about what worked and what didn't for this guy. And not just that, we put the pitch in here. You actually get the golden pitch. So anyone on the sales team who signs up inside the system and gets to the training, that is up there now. Okay? It's live right now. You can go download it and extract it and go through the call recordings. I'll give you some quick hints. If you sort by the size, the longest ones probably had a lot of, I'll put you on hold, and then a lot of time passes on hold. So you might just grab the slider and kind of drag through it, listening for voices, right? So you can get something out of that. And if it's really long, somebody's probably put them on hold to try to get them off the phone politely, right? So some of the longest ones, there they are. But then at the bottom, anything that's really short, like under 100 kilobytes, is pretty much voicemail answered instead of a human being. So all the way up through here, there's not even time for a pitch. It's just too short. But anything from, I don't know if it's 100, might be more like 120, you'll figure it out. But anything from there up is actual calls themselves, okay? And so we put all these calls up. If you simply listen to them and you memorize the pitch that's included with this whole set, okay, that's in there. It's like a handful of sentences, the pitch. It doesn't take a minute to say it. So if you memorize that pitch and you start practicing it, you'll get more fluent. If you listen to these call recordings, you'll get really fluent. So anyone on the sales team should be able to start popping like 10 to 20 leads every 3 hours maybe. And all you need to do is start calling. Ask me for leads. When we give you leads, by the way, we're going to give you the executive name and title as often as it exists in the records so that you can ask for the right person when you call the company. That's huge, okay? It's a big deal. And the only other thing is let us know what price you want for your promo code to drop it to. That way you have real control over exactly how much you want to earn, how much work you're going to put in, where you think the price should be. And you have all this pre-training right here. And all of this so far is geared to what? It's to get you email addresses of the decision makers so that we can start tagging them with the right kind of information, okay? Could we do this differently? Could we be after the phone number of the decision maker? Yes, it's usually tougher to get than the email, okay? The gatekeepers will try to give you the email first. They'll be more willing to give you the email than the phone number of the decision maker. But as long as you're getting to the right guy, then we can start tagging them with useful things with sensible subject lines that are different, interesting about them, meant to get their attention, okay? So that we can continue the process. And that can lead just through a couple of contacts into sales directly. So we're lining up our leads as we go, and then we're following up to keep up their interest and drive it higher until they buy. So this is cool. This is how you set up all your leads, okay? That's what we're doing, and that's the information, and that's it streamlined so that you guys can pick up where we left off and move forward very much on the right foot. All right, I hope you find that interesting. So the only other thing I want to point out is this, okay? There are, again, these three things you can do. One, you can join the WMS sales team. How do you do it? Sign up here at website-installer.com. Then sign in and hit promo code insights. You'll see the link, right? You'll go through the training. Used to be about 3.5 hours. Now you can decide what it is. But you go through the training, and then if you want, go through those calls. Literally listen to the calls. Read the README first. It has important notes, okay, that are in that file when you download it, just so you make sure you can keep on top of everything. And like I said, the pitch is in there, okay? Then when you're ready, request leads from us. You'll see how to start tagging the prospects and making the calls to earn both base pay and commissions. Okay, that's one thing you can do. Now, aside from that, a second thing you can do is support our growth to get paid well. It's this crowdfunding method that we've been using. How do you do that? Because that, by the way, that's been instrumental. That a lot of time and effort and money has gone into moving everything in the right direction, and we're still moving everything even faster in the right direction now that we know so much more about what we're doing. Okay, so the call recordings, that's been very important. Feedback on the website for making it even more convertible, that's been important. We're working on that in the back end to make it even more powerful. Different things that we're doing with the marketing angles is important. The advice and the training we've been getting from our managers and our mentors is important. Going through all the interviews with all the guys, even all the spending of money to get all the guys to advertise, to get the guys in the first place to reach us. Everything we're doing is lining it up. We have something like 40 serious guys signed up in the sales crew now. There are probably 80 guys. Many are just thinking about hobbing away at it, but just open-minded to it and curious where it's going. But now that we're putting out so much organized training in the right direction to line things up, and all you have to do is copy that, then this is going to explode so fast. As we get one guy making sales and we use that to train the rest, everyone's going to be able to open up really, really fast. Money's going to come. Okay? So, in order to be part of it, if you haven't yet, sign up here, gettrialleads.com/LPE/. Okay, LPE means Landing Page Expansion Project. It's where we started off with this project in the early days. It's since expanded into what we're doing now. But still, that's where you want to sign up, because that's where we have records of all the payments everyone's made along the way through this growth. So we can make sure to bring everyone with us as we continue forward. This is cool. Now, when you sign up, log in here, gettrialleads.com/admin. Okay, once you're here and you're signing up, you're never going to use this link anymore. You only use that one time to join. Okay, just make sure to save your password, because you're going to use your email and the code you were given when you signed up anytime you log in here. So definitely save that information. Make sure you don't lose it. Now in the left menu, when you sign in, click LPE websites. Okay, it's the way we laid the section out. Okay, and what those are is contributions that you guys make of $500 per position to the cause. Okay, buying those positions, that creates the record of your ownership of however many positions you got. So as we make profits, then your split gets paid out through those positions evenly. All the positions are paid out evenly. So for example, if 80 positions are owned and we have 80 sales guys working, it's as though each position had a dedicated sales guy. Okay, our goal is that every position gets a dedicated sales guy. Now, with the dedicated sales guy doing their job for their own pay, it produces the extra profit of which we split with you. So if we're splitting the profits from 80 salespeople evenly through 80 positions, that means the average earnings from each salesperson is per position. So now you get the idea. All right, and that's exactly what's going on. Our goal is to have a salesperson per position. It'll move past that, but that's our goal, to make sure to get things going. How much can you make off of that? It's really big. Do the math any which way you see fit, and you're going to realize really fast that you're making maybe a 20-time, realistic 20-time return in a year from that. Okay, it's really amazing what's happening, and so don't miss out. This right here is the easiest way you can get paid. This position number 2, supporting our growth. Because why? It's assuming that you don't know how to cold call or appointment set or close. It's assuming you don't know how to do these things. Okay, so what are you doing? You're paying us to guide the initiative to drive it to the end where it's earning for us. Okay, that's it. You're just helping support the time it takes us and the effort it takes us to gear all of this to make it work, because the sales team sets the future for us all. Okay, third, what else can you do? You could buy a template from websiteinstaller.com. Yes, use the promo code WMS123, to knock it down to the lowest price. And you can pay for it to be converted to an awesome template for a new service or business industry. That's not expensive. We have a package for changing out the images for $50. And then we have content. 2,000 words is $200? Something like that. For being able to create variable content with nested variables and the sentence spinning necessary to create lots of quality content across lots of websites. So when you get something like this done, it's really a great job. It's kind of like the Roto-Rooter example that I put out earlier when I was doing the expose and showing their 10,800 page website and why it works. Okay? And what's the point of getting this template built? Because then we can add it to websiteinstaller.com as a new project, a new industry. The sales team therefore has more choice. because they can sell anything on there they want. Now, anything, any template that stands out. If guys have interests and they want to move with something, they can let us know. We'll set those templates up with leads so they can show demos. That way they can get the same kind of conversions we're staring at now, because this is getting so promising. It's not funny. We mastered the entrance, we mastered the exit, and we're finalizing the bridge between them in the middle. We're getting so close. Okay. And yeah, you're giving us more markets to reach out to. The point is that there will be a percentage payout to the owner of each template for a full year, starting from the first sale of your template. That's cool. That becomes automated income. And the reason this is different than positions is, what if you get a template for a particular industry and it turns out that 5 or 8 different sales team members all say, you know what, I can do that. Well, then you're going to have 5 or 8 guys selling it in parallel at the same time, working on that project. And you get to earn from all the sales that they all make. Okay? It's a different way to earn. Okay? That's interesting. Anyway, so this is a good plan. Getting 1 or more templates ready that anyone in the new industries can want to buy. And our sales team can sell them so you can earn without having to build the entire business by yourself. So one thing we also figured out is, anytime we get a new industry going, we will get a mentor in the industry to guide us. Because the mentoring we got from the industry that we're tagging now was just instrumental in helping us move forward. And we realize how important that is. So we're going to find some other guys in the different industries who are SEO types, who want the SEO leads from all those warm clients that we can bring on board with website sales. And that's just perfect for everyone. That makes it easier to sell the websites, and it means an SEO guy has a vested interest in helping us sell the websites, and then we can sell SEO projects through them. And that's great, because as they can handle that, then those core clients are going to be open to wanting to buy more websites from us. And that's also great because the SEO guy will point them back at us for that. Why? Because synergy. Everybody wants that relationship to work. Everybody likes the way that unfolds. Okay? This is cool. So anyway, when you buy any template from website-installer.com, be sure to use the promo code WMS123. It'll knock the price down, the base template, to $195. From there, you can log into your admin panel and change images and content and color schemes on your own, or you can pay us to do it. If you got any questions about what it should take to get something done, just give me a call, all right? Or shoot me an email. I'm always listening. That way we can help you guys move forward, because all of this is coming together. I'm pretty surprised. This is great. It feels like the tsunami's going to burst before long. You guys have been hanging out with us for a long time and helping push us here. Keep it up and don't miss out. Whatever you do, don't miss out on this. All right. I'll talk to you later. You take care. Thanks so much for your support.